and I've actually like done an intro for this video for a while, and I feel like I've been watching too many YouTubers that have like signature intros, and I'm trying to figure out the best way to come in, and I'm here. I'm doing a review for the new show on Hulu, High Fidelity. High Fidelity was a movie that came out in 2000, and it is basically a remake of the movie. The way I found out about it, I follow Cree Summer on Twitter, and Cree Summer is like, I don't even want to say a friend of, because they seem like more like family, but she is very close with Zoe Kravitz, Lisa Bonet, and she suggested the show, and I said, God damn it, Valentine's Day, I don't have no gift, I don't have no man, I will watch a show. Before I get into the show, High Fidelity, I feel like we need to pay homage to the movie High Fidelity. Now, I had never seen this movie, but I am a big fan of John Cusack. I am a fan of Jack Black, and I just had to watch it. So I watched on Valentine's Day. I watched the entire season of High Fidelity, the show. From beginning to end, I watched the entire thing. I was in love. I loved it. I loved Rob. I loved Charisse. I loved Simon. I loved the music. I loved just their banter. I cracked up. I did out loud laughs. I got emotional. I did not shed a tear, but I felt the emotion, okay? Now, High Fidelity, that came out in 2000, starred John Cusack, Joan Cusack, Jack Black, Eben. Now, she's the woman who plays Laura. She's got a difficult name. You can tell from her, she had a slight accent. I should have looked it up. I want to say she's probably like Dutch, German, Holland, Dutch. Whatever. I'm not sure where she's from, but that's her name. Lisa Bonet was in the first one. Todd Luiso, Catherine Zeta-Jones, Lily Taylor, Tim Robbins, Sarah Gilbert, Alex Desert. I just kept writing basically everybody that I recognized, and those were the people that I recognized, and I was like, God damn. Yo, listen, when I tell you, if you have not seen High Fidelity, go watch it. The shit was hilarious. Jack Black is funny as hell in it. Now, I love Jack Black from School of Rock, but you know Jack Black was in Tenacious D back in the day. He's always been very into rock and stuff, but School of Rock, me and my kids used to watch it all the time. I got them on to just knowing a bunch of different rock music from School of Rock. They be like, "Mom, you listen to too much of this rock." Like, but guess what? Both of my kids are playing guitar now. I don't know how to play, but
look at you. Look at what you did.
It doesn't matter. Oh, you can keep going till you get it right.
I'm supposed to use perfectly. That's it.
That's good.
So High Fidelity, the movie, it's about Rob, also named Rob. Rob has two best friends, Dick and Barry. Barry is Jack Black. Dick is Todd Luiso. They both are friends that work in his record store. They are basically music elitists, and they know everything about everything that has to do with every album that's ever been created. Like, that's what it seems like. Nick Hornby was the writer of the novel High Fidelity that was made into the book. He's also the executive producer of this Hulu show. So In the movie High Fidelity, there's a girlfriend named Laura. She's the person that basically starts the movie off with Rob being broken up with. And it starts in the same exact way. There are a lot of scenes that are exactly from the movie and just, redone in some way, or some things changed. It's not exactly like the movie, but there are a lot of similarities, okay? Female Rob and male Rob are both very self-loathing, somewhat feeling inadequate in many ways. Also just, big lovers at heart, and they care about their friends and they care about the person that they're with. And they definitely both have a lot of respect for the person that they're with, whether it's a fuck buddy or it's a lover. Now, despite there being that respect, there are gonna be some problems, and we'll get to that. This top 5 heartbreak list started with his 7th grade crush. Number 2 was the girl he dated in high school who was basically a virgin. 3 was Catherine Zeta-Jones. 4 was Lily Taylor, who was a little and then 5 was Laura. So the interesting one that I'm going to talk about, because this one was the most different from the show, was his 16-year-old girlfriend. Now, the reason it was interesting was because apparently he was really trying to get in them draws. He was trying to get in them draws, and she was not ready. So she kept pushing him away. And eventually he was just like, what's the point? You're not letting me, so I don't want to be with you. And he just like dropped her. A few days later, come to find out, she's had sex with this jock kid, and he felt like he was rejected. So here we are 15 years later, however many years later, his memory is that he was rejected. That is not the case. So what happened was, she more felt like she was pressured into having sex by this other guy because her heart was broken after Rob left her, and he did not know. And in the movie, it didn't seem to affect him much at all. Rob and Robin from the show are lacking self-awareness at a lot of parts, but sometimes they have to go through some things that give them perspective, okay? Now, I want to talk about the show on Hulu. I had to, give my respects to the movie. And I wanted to do a whole review, but the odds of me doing multiple videos right now, I'm going to make this shit long, okay? The 2020 years later, High Fidelity stars Zoe Kravitz, David H. Holmes, Davine Joy Randolph, Kingsley Ben-Adir, Jake Lacey, Rainbow Franks, and Nadine Malouf, to name a few. We have Davine Joy Randolph, who played in Dolomite, that's on Netflix, and she was really good in that. And she is hilarious in that. She's my favorite character in this. But, I love a big girl who is fashionable and is saying what the hell she wants. I did want her to find a love interest, to have a love interest, but maybe that'll come. But Barry in the movie did not have a love interest. So I felt like, okay, that was all right, because that's how the movie went, at least for this first season. Kingsley Ben-Adir was in The OA. Now, The OA, if y'all haven't watched The OA, that is an amazing show. I don't even want to go into it because I'm going to start babbling, but please go watch The OA. It actually was canceled. They only had 2 seasons. But when I tell you that show is amazing and deserves a 3rd, 4th, 5th, 6th season, bring back The OA, okay? Save The OA. And Rainbow is Cree Summer's brother. So I was just like, yes, like they got this little... I'm feeling it, and he's really good. I meant to look up other things that he's been in, but I did not before I started this. But he is Cam, Rob's brother. All right, so let's get into this. Episode 1 starts off. Mac is leaving Rob. Rob is sitting in the living room. She's crying. She's distraught. Now, if anybody doesn't know, Rob looks and talks directly to the camera, okay, for a lot of the show, and that's how also it was in the movie. As Mac is leaving, Rob is reminding him, like, don't you remember when we were on the other side of the rock and that other couple was yelling and we just reminded each other that we need to get back on this side of the rock? And Mac says, I don't even remember what that felt like. Messed up. Fast forward 1 year, Cam and his wife Nikki, Cam, her brother, his wife Nikki, who's pregnant, are trying to comfort her, basically telling her she needs to get out, do some things, meet somebody new. Rob says, I have a date later. Rob is on an awkward date with Clyde. Clyde's got on this little bubble vest, looking real, I want to say middle schoolish. So Clyde is Jake Lacy. Jake Lacy, you may recognize him as Pete, aka Plop, from The Office, which is one of my favorite shows. Clyde is a Colorado transplant who always wanted to live in New York City, and he's finally here. Rob is already not feeling that situation, and she quickly tries to escape. So she excuses herself to the bathroom and forgets her phone. So she has to go back, get the phone, and basically finish out the date. So they end up talking about Clyde asked her, you know, what if I told you that I love this song by Fleetwood Mac? And she's like, yeah, you know, I feel them. You know, I wasn't so here for, who was in Fleetwood Mac? Fuck. Oh my God. It's like I cannot think of her name, but she was in, she was in American Horror Story. What's her name? Homegirl that was the witch from the woods was so into her. Fuck. What's her name? So Rob goes on this whole spiel about the songs that she was really feeling. She knows all the songs on the album. She knows other albums. She knows all the members of the group. And Clyde is like, well, how would you feel if I don't know much about them at all? And she's here. She doesn't really give a fuck because she's just there trying to get her mind off of Mac. Clyde and Rob go home and they have sweet, sweet loving. And Clyde says, hey, let's get breakfast in the morning. When she wakes up to find that Clyde is not there, she's like, oh, well, you know, I thought he was a nice guy, but he's really not. He's the jerk off that bounced while I was sleeping. So Rob is going down her top 5 heartbreaks. We've got Kevin Bannister, we've got Kat Monroe, number 3 was Simon, number 4 was Justin the comedian, and 5 is Mac. Now, Kat is this pretentious lesbian who is tall and blonde, and she more so has an affinity towards also tall blondes. Rob is really into her, but at the same time, she never feels quite like herself, and that she's trying to live up to this idea of what she thinks Kat wants. And this is same for Rob in the movie. I forget if her name was Kat in the movie, but Catherine Zeta-Jones plays that character, and also Rob does not feel adequate dealing with her. She's just a very vocal and social person, opposite of Rob. Simon is somebody that she met who they love the same things, they love the same movies, especially music, and they got along amazingly well. So well, in fact, that they found out that they also loved peen. And Simon ended up having to come out to Rob after she saw him getting a number from a man in the laundromat. Now, Simon is also an employee of the store, and Simon's the Dick role. Dick, the character from the first movie. They are that's his counterpart or whatever. We meet Charisse. Charisse busts into the door. She's making an entrance. She is very like, what is this? What are we listening to? They're listening to something, and she changes up the tune quick, and she puts on "Come On Eileen," and she's jamming. Now that is the same way that Jack Black entered the movie, with that like a good bop and a little dance thing for him. Justin, who was her number 4 heartbreak, had a girlfriend, and Rob was doing some scandalous and he was cheating on his girlfriend with Rob. They were really into it with the secretive, sneaking around, secret booty calls and all of that. And then when the girlfriend found out about him, and then they had to basically try it as a real relationship, it didn't really work out. You know, I guess the sneaking around was something that they needed. Rob meets through her brother. They're at the bar at the same time, and that basically turns into the love of her life. They are very compatible, and they fall deep in love. We get to Clyde showing up at Rob's house because he has left his phone over there, and he's brought her French toast. Apparently his car actually got towed. Rob is very doubtful of his story, but she kind of feels like shit, like damn, I guess he is nice. I feel like Rob just kind of is just waiting for people to disappoint her, which I so sympathize with. That's why I fucking love this. As horrible as Rob can be, and as like where a good relationship is right in her face, but well, it's seemingly good, but it's not right for her. You think it's good, but to her that's not what she wants, so she can't go for it. Cause Clyde seems to be the safe choice, but Rob don't want safe. That ain't what she wants. We find out before her date with Clyde, she ran into Mac. She did not know that he was back. Mac had went to England. He is an Englishman. He went to England. This was approximately 13 months later, and now he's back in New York. Episode 2 starts off with Rob talking about she's making a road trip playlist. Where's she going? She don't got no car. She's trying to get all these songs together. She's going for a feel. She needs this to flow. Now we realize that she is making this playlist for Mac. She has these emotions that she has to get out. And she's not good with sharing how she feels until her back is against the wall, okay? So Simon and Charisse realize that Rob is going through some, okay? So they go to her house. They're like, yo, we gotta distract you. You need to get out the house. Let's go. They end up going into the bodega. This bodega boy, he's a regular on this show. They trying to decipher what is the smell in the bodega. Charisse talking about it's a top note of fish. It's a top note of fish and something else. Like, what's that? Old lettuce. Yes, they all agree. It's a top note of fish, some funkadunk, and old lettuce. That's what the bodega is smelling like that day. Charisse ends up copping some smoke from the delivery boy, the pizza delivery man, and they walked on the street getting right to some Biggie Smalls. As they walk into the club, they hear this guy singing. Rob goes, is that Boys to Fucking Men? Now in the movie, Rob goes, is that Peter fucking Frampton? Rob goes in to find Liam. Liam is this really handsome young guy. Liam is up on stage singing a song. He's making it his own, as we learn from Paula in her years on American Idol. They are all just captivated by Liam singing this song. They all three hated this song before, and now they love it. They meet Liam after the show, and Charisse tells him about the fact that they have that Rob owns this record store and that he should come by. It's really cool, like just come through. While they're in this club, they hear the song Nothing Compares by Sinead O'Connor. Is it called Nothing Compares? I don't know if it's called Nothing Compares, but she says Nothing Compares. Nothing compares. Nothing compares to you. Now we flash back to when, which I didn't mention before, Rob finds an engagement ring. So this is when she was still with Mac. As soon as she finds the ring, she's terrified. Like, oh my God, we're going on the next step. What am I gonna do? I'm gonna fuck this up. Like, so she ends up dipping out and she goes to buy some cat food. She ends up in the bar. She comes home. She admits that she found it, that she was scared, but she wants to marry him. Max says, all right, let's do this. Let's do it. Now we cut to present day and Rob shares her playlist with Mac. She wakes up to find that he has seen it, but he has not responded. Now we're at brunch with Rob, Nikki, and Cam, her brother. Cam and Nikki are trying to tell her gracefully that Mac is back in town, but they don't know that she's already bumped into him. So now Cam has this problem of inadvertently telling people's business throughout the show. And this is also similar to Rob's sister in the movie, who's played by his real sister, Joan Cusack. So Cam accidentally mentions, yeah, you know, we didn't really care anything for this Lily girl. And Rob plays it off and she walks away. Well, she says she's gonna go to the bathroom and then she leaves. And she's like, what fucking Lily girl? And this is an exact remake of the scene where Rob finds out about Ian, who Laura was dating. And he's like, what fucking Ian guy? So later in the episode, Cam brings in some records that he wants to sell to the shop. Rob doesn't really want to entertain this transaction because he, you know, messed up her mind for a little while because now she knows about Lily. She also at this point finds out that Mac is engaged, just crushing her little spirit even more, okay? Liam ends up coming in and visits the store. They're playing his music while he's in there and they immediately turn it off, and that's exactly what happens in the movie. Marie DeSalle is Liam, who is also Lisa Bonet, Rob's Zoe Kravitz's real mom. It's very cute. I love how it just comes together, you know? Liam invites the group out to a show. Rob nonchalantly plays it off like, yeah, maybe I'll be there. Liam and Charisse end up having this talk about the fact that Charisse wants to be an artist too, and she needs to just put out what she wants, who she is, and her people will find her. This is the advice that Liam gives her. Rob and Liam bond over books, movies, music, and they just have a really good time. Now, earlier in the episode, or another episode, Simon says that it is more important to find someone who likes the things you like versus they like who you are. Or it's like it's important to have... What the fuck? What Simon said? What Simon said? Things you like are more important than what you are like. I agree. At Liam's place, Rob and Liam are discussing their past loves. She talks about her Mac that broke up with her, and he talks about his Lily that broke up with him a year before when they graduated. Graduated where, you say? High school. So Rob is dating this young buck of a 19-year-old, and she is quickly freaked the F out. So she dips out, okay? She leaves him with no explanation. Like, she's quick with it. She's like, oh, 19. Oh, I got somewhere to be. Oh, no, we're good. I got somewhere to be. So Rob is like, I gotta figure out what's going on. I gotta figure out what happened. Why are my loves so dysfunctional? Like, why am I stuck in this perpetual loop of messed up relationships? So she calls her first love Kevin Bannister. Kevin Bannister's mom, and we also find out that her name is Robin Brooks. Kevin Bannister's mom says, Kevin is with his wife. And she's like, I was his first girlfriend. Like, oh no. Because Kevin's first and last girlfriend was homegirl that took him from you in the beginning. And she's like, oh, well then that means it was fate. So nothing's wrong with me, right? Like, no, girl. No, something wrong with you. Something is wrong with you too. That's true. But something is also wrong with you. Now, as Rob is contemplating her having to rehash all these relationships, Debbie Harry pops in drinking some wine, and she's just encouraging her, telling her, yeah, it'll feel great for you. Not so sure how to feel for them. And in the movie, Bruce Springsteen plays this kind of like conscience type voice that is giving advice. Now, episode 4 starts with Rob seeing Simon at this pretentious coffee shop. Now, as we said, Simon is her best friend, employee at the store, and her number 3, I believe 3 heartbreak. So she's asking him, so Simon, tell me, why am I doomed to be rejected? And Simon's like, wait, I'm one of your heartbreaks? Like, girl, we were hanging out together all the time. You were popping pimples on my back. We would see each other, blibbity blah. Like, when has that stopped? So she's like, ooh, right. And also, mind you, I'm a homosexual. So did I reject you, or did I have to just be honest with myself? That's basically what happened. She's like, okay. And Simon's like, take me off of your damn list. Now, also in the shop, which, why Rob is so, she's lacking self-awareness and the ability to read her friends and to understand what they're going through, it should be clear to her that Simon is there trying to push up on a barista. He ain't trying to push on. He's just like coming there. He just want to see him. He just want to interact. But Rob kind of blocks. She blocking, okay? Rob and Simon get to the shop, and Charisse is already there doing some work. They're like, what's going on here, Charisse? You working? Now, Charisse has finally put up an ad saying that she is a front woman looking for some bandmates. She is a revolutionary. She is a badass, and she just needs a band, okay? Now, Rob is trying to hunt down Kat Monroe. Charisse tells her, yeah, Kat Monroe is famous. That's what her little blue check is for. Now, apparently, Rob is so detached from the social media that she doesn't know what a blue check is for, I guess. Charisse ends up mentioning, like, you wanna go down a trip? Like, I'm here for you going on that trip. You wanna get some DMT? And oh my God, I wanna try some DMT. Like, okay, I want to have it a guided journey. I don't want to do no ayahuasca because I heard that shit can make you sick as hell. But at some point in life, I am going on a shaman guided, or whoever, a leader guided DMT trip. I will. I fucking will. Rob is now at Justin's comedy show. Justin is heartbreak number 4. Justin was the one that was cheating on his girlfriend. So she's sitting with him. They're trying to rehash what happened, what went on. And come to find out, Justin is in a little shitty relationship with the girl. I don't know if it's still the same girl or if it's a new one, but his baby mama is not happy with him and his son isn't receptive. But something tells me that the girl got him talking to a damn infant that can't even talk on the phone. And like, girl, I hate when people do that. Like, it's a baby. I can see if I call and I'm like, oh, like, I want to hear him, let me talk. But don't be like, he wants to hear. No, girl, I'm at work. You know I'm at work. I'm at a late night ass club, girl. Calm yourself. And you about to have my mind all messed up. You want me sitting up here talking about Spider-Man? Anyways, Justin ends up saying, like, you know, when you broke up with me, it was really heartbreaking. So Rob's like, oh, yeah, I broke up with you. You didn't reject me. No, like, she's like, yes, I'm glad I did this, because her recollection is messed up. She does not remember exactly everything that's happened. Now, I made a note that Rob was dressed as Doug Funny. There were two particular outfits that she had, this like white short sleeve shirt with a green sweater that gave me Doug Funny. And then there's another episode that I'll just get into her outfit when it comes there, okay? So Kat ends up calling the store. Rob has sent her a message like saying, you know, I want to reconnect, whatever. Kat says, Rob, listen, are you in or are you out? Like, what do you mean, in or out or what? She's like, I have had a few past conquests reach out to me recently wanting to do this whole what does life mean BS, and I want to know, is that what you're here for? Because if it is, I don't want to do this. Like, do you want to be pals? Like, let's be pals. So Rob, of course, doesn't admit what she really wants and says, yeah, sure, let's be pals. So she goes over to Kat's, and Kat is having a time. She's having a time at her house. I've never heard anyone say, like, yes, we're having a time. Rob is sitting amongst the partygoers, and she's just like, listen, like, I don't know what it is, but I don't think I like these people. Like, something about these people. Previously, a girl has asked her to take a funky, what did she say? She's like, do I look fucked up and vibey? This girl wants Rob to take her picture, and she's just like, do I look fucked up and vibey? Like, just, does it look real? And it's like, girl, real? That's the social media for you. Taking pictures, making it seem like that's real life, and it's not. So that's what happens at this party. It's a bunch of people getting together. Rob finds out that none of them even know each other, and they're just there for an influencers dinner so that they can all take pictures and see who's who. Her idea of Kat also bursts, and she's like, all she does is babble. She doesn't even know what she's talking about. She doesn't even listen to anybody. Like, is that how she always was? And yeah, I'm sure it was. So after everyone leaves, Rob sits down with Kat and says, so why did you leave me for Caitlin? Kat immediately goes, I knew it. I knew that's what you came here for. And she just goes, all right, Rob, here we go. So she tells Rob that Caitlin was sunnier, Caitlin was livelier, Caitlin was more sure of herself. Rob was just pretty needy. She basically goes down the list of saying the things that are wrong with Rob, that Rob is not ready to hear. And she really doesn't think that she's that way, but she's that way. Also, the house that Kat is in is not hers. It's a rental. Charisse has taken the advice of Simon to make her ad more specific, because everybody thinks they're a visionary. Everybody thinks that they are a badass. So Charisse's new description of herself, I'm gonna just give you the beginning because that shit is a 2-pager ad. Like, that should look like an essay, okay? She is a once-in-a-generation soul samurai frontwoman. Aretha meets Ann Wilson, meets Wilson Pickett, meets Cree Summer, meets Prince, but taller and less weird. I am so here for that description. I'm here for it all, especially the Cree Summer. Now, we all know that Cree has been a voice of freaking beloved cartoons for years and years. Voiced many little black girl cartoons that we know and love. She's even voiced some non-black cartoons like Penny from Inspector Gadget. So some people also don't know that Cree Summer is a singer. Now, I love Cree's voice. One song that I listen to at least once a day. I've listened to this song once a day or maybe every other day for so long. Deliciously Down by Cree Summer. I need high breath to breathe through, and I'm gonna insert a clip of me singing that shit like after I got out the shower. Hopefully they don't make an issue on YouTube. Anyway, Simon and Charisse are at the bar with Rob and they're just telling her, like, just quit now. Like, stop going to all your exes because the next person is going to basically reveal how you got your heart broken. And the next person is Mac. Rob says, you know, Kat said that I was needy, that I'm obsessive, that I overthink or whatever. And Simon and Charisse are like, oh, no, we wouldn't say that. I mean, not in those exact words. Still, Rob shows up at Mac's stoop so that they can have their moment of closure. Closure is overrated, people. Closure can get your feelings hurt. Mac and Rob are sharing a drink, and the conversation or the question that she's supposed to ask, she does not ask it. What she ends up saying is, what I want to know is that you and Lily are not that serious and that you're not actually engaged. Mac says, I can't do that. 'Cause we get married. Rob is crushed again. And now she's reflecting over David Bowie tunes. Episode 5. Rob is not fine. Rob now has on glasses. She's been crying. She's been smoking cigarettes at night. At this point now they're talking about what are your top 5 villains. I don't remember what they said, but I wrote mine, okay? And I'm gonna give these to you. 1, Joker. Joker is the favorite, is the best villain of all time. 2, Vandal Savage, because Vandal Savage is the ultimate evil and he's fucking insane, okay? Number 3, Ursula, the Sea Witch. Yes. Number 4, Dr. Doofenshmirtz from Phineas and Ferb. Yes. Yes. 5 comes out of left field. And I'm telling you this, I made this list like boom, 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 boom. Number 5, Sookie Stackhouse. Yes. Sookie Stackhouse is supposedly a good girl, but if you've watched True Blood, and I don't know what the books were talking about, Sookie was a fucking villain, okay? Because Sookie kept putting people's lives in danger. So it was like, you were that unassuming villain, but people knew if they follow you, they gon' get messed up. So a woman is calling from the Upper East Side, and she wants to sell some records. Rob calls Clyde for a ride to bring her. She's basically using him for his vehicle, and Clyde is just like, all right, I'll be there in half an hour. Now, Clyde fucked himself by he just got comfortable in the friend zone. And then he got mad that he was in the friend zone. Like, my dude, you were chilling. You were lounging in the friend zone. You were like getting drinks. You were chuckling. You were like pitching a tent in the friend zone. And then later, you got mad because you was in a friend zone, anyways. The seller of the records is Parker Posey. Parker Posey is a wonderful actress. I love Parker Posey. The first time I was introduced to her was in the movie Dazed and Confused. Oh my God. So amazing movies that put me on to rock music back in the day. Empire Records, Dazed and Confused, Crooklyn has some real good music, okay? Noreen is selling her husband's entire album collection for $20. Now, there are some very rare albums on there that Rob is just... she's hot for them. She's hot for these albums. But as a collector herself, she does not feel good about parting someone with their collection based on revenge, because that is what the wife wants. She wants to take this framed $20 and give it to her husband and get rid of all the albums, and that is all he will have left. So Clyde and Rob end up going to this hotel, the Carlisle, that Noreen mentions her husband is going to be at. They meet him. They find that he is a horrible douchebag who is a male chauvinist. He's a disgusting piece of crap. But still, Rob has this respect for another music lover. Despite how horrible he is, she does not want to participate in separating him from his collection. She wants to pay a fair amount, but she doesn't want to just get everything for the $20. So they end up leaving. She pisses off Noreen because Noreen is like really excited. She basically feels like this is going to be her greatest work of art yet. Clyde ends up but he takes the David Bowie album. There's this David Bowie album that she wanted so bad. She had wanted since the 8th grade. It was The Man Who Sold the World. He was dressed in drag, and there was a misprint on the cover. So Clyde snakes it, but also leaves the $20. They part in a very awkward way. Now, this is just a random thing that I noticed. At the point where Rob and Clyde are visiting Noreen, she has on a Dickies t-shirt, and Rob in the movie also is wearing that same Dickies t-shirt. It is Saturday at the store, and it is hustling. It is bustling. I guess that is their busy day where people are coming looking. The other record addicts are trying to get their fix, okay? Sharice is educating a nice young shopper on these good albums that he needs to have in his collection, or he don't need to be calling himself a collector, you know? And I kind of wish that they talked more about specific songs and albums that they were really into, which I feel like more so there was discussion of artists versus like specific albums and songs and, you know, things like that, okay, that they were fans of. Clyde shows up to the store. They have some small talk. Every time Clyde comes in, he never asks the right questions. He never makes it clear that he wants to be with her. He just looked out getting a poom poom on the first night to where he just thinks that that's what she wants too, and he just basically waiting around for her to give it to him again. But he's not being, I don't even want to say he's not being aggressive, but he's not saying anything. He's just accepting these crumbs of a friendship. The blonde barista shows up, and Simon and him get to talking. He's like, you know, bring a tape over if you find anything I like. Well, clearly he's not talking like a debutante, but I don't know. I have no idea why I gave him that accent, okay? I wrote down. Now, Sunday, Rob is dressed like Ace Ventura. This is what her outfit gave me, Ace Ventura, okay? Rob is texting Liam. Liam is having a show, and Simon and Charisse are invited. Well, Charisse kind of invites herself, but they, of course, are welcome to come. Charisse says she can't wait till she has her own shows, but they both remind her, like, my girl, you gotta make music. You gotta make music first, and then you can sell out some shows. Two skateboarding girls, while they're having this discussion, are stealing records from the store. So Charisse and Rob chase them. They both out of breath. Charisse because she a little hefty, and Rob because she smoked too much. They end up finding the girls because their names and address are on this flyer. So they find them. Rob hears their music. She has a little soft spot for their situation, and she says, okay, you can borrow them. Bring them back tomorrow. Liam invites Rob to the studio, which is not really a big scene. Rob gives him some advice to like get weird with it with the song to make it better, and Liam has to channel his inner Prince to get that song the vibe that they're looking for. You know what I mean? It's a text from Clyde that just says hi. And Clyde he dry. Clyde, he's boring, okay? He boring, he dry as fuck, he regular. I don't know. Like, Clyde, yeah, he doing things, he nice, he could get you your French toast and everything, but, like, who are you? Who are you? And I feel like when people be too cookie cutter looking, it be some extra shit. It be some shit. I like people that make it known that they ain't right, that they weird, that something is dysfunctional in my life. You look too regular. Like, either you got some shit you hiding, or I'm going to corrupt you and fuck you up. That's the impression I'm getting with Clyde, okay? After the studio, Rob and Liam go to his house. And did she get busy with the young rock star? Yes, she did. And is she gonna tell about it? No, because she's a lady. In the morning, Liam invites her to stay for coffee. He also invites her to Mexico, which she doesn't feel like it's a real invitation. She thinks he's just asking to ask, which I feel like he really did. He really likes her company, and he does want her to be around. So she's thinking about it. Peachy and Shane have given a copy of their music to Rob and Simon. So they're listening to it, and they're like, fuck, it's actually good. And they bring back the albums on time like they promised. Charisse openly doubts that they're gonna do it, but they do right as she's talking junk. And they also invite Charisse to come and jam with them for a while because their lead singer is now going to Sarah Lawrence College. Charisse is also jealous that Rob wants to sell their music in the store but not hers. But once again, they're like, Charisse, make the damn music first. And that is the same thing as Barry's character, Jack Black's character. Barry keeps talking about he's this great star, he's gonna, be doing his thing, but they never hear the music until the last scene of the movie, okay? Simon is making a mixtape for the Blonde Boy. And he does not want to go to Liam's show because he wants to catch up with Blonde Barista. Rob and Charisse meet up to go to the show. Charisse is looking fly in a little jean jumpsuit, and Rob got on a Bob Marley tank top, and it could have been it. It looked like she had a Bob Marley tank top. Maybe she had on shorts. I could not see it. I know homegirl ain't have on no bra. And what a... to have little titties that just chill, like, that you could just have on a shirt and they don't just be, like, y'all little titty girls. I envy you. I do. So Rob actually tells Liam, like, I thought about it, so I'll go to Mexico. But that quick, Liam is not going to Mexico anymore. He's going to be performing at Glastonbury, which, is that in the UK? I was supposed to look that up and I forgot. Liam won't be back in New York for a few more months, so they're not going to be able to see each other. And Rob actually likes Liam a lot. As soon as Rob comes in the room, Liam immediately gets up, give her a kiss. Like, that's his boo thing. Like, he don't care about none of the other people in there. Because he was talking to a girl when she walked in. He was like, oh, excuse me, my girl here. Liam's manager, Sharice, is trying to talk to him, basically trying to network. And he just gives her the cold shoulder, just brush her off. Rob and Sharice are eating pizza later. And they're just like, that dude was a dick. Like, he was a clown. Rob and Clyde are out at a concert together. Rob basically just admits that she's not here for him. She's just not feeling it. They are so deep in the friend zone that they can't even see. Like, I don't even think she can remember them having sex. Because they're so deep in that friend zone. She's not interested in him. But he is still holding out hope. Like, gosh, why? She is giving you daps as she's leaving. Like, she is giving you platonic ass interactions at this point. But you're so focused on that fuck you had 4 episodes ago. Okay, whatever. Cam, Rob's brother, is at the shop. They're looking at different albums. Cam is telling a story that he's told multiple times. The fact that he's a music journalist. The fact that he met Anthony Kiedis. That Anthony Kiedis recognized him from his fedora. A story that Rob and Simon know basically word for word. They see this guy called The Hammer, who happens to be in the shop and happens to be a really good friend of Cam's. Now, this is the only character I hated. I did not like the Hammer. I feel like the Hammer was just placed in this story to stir things up because his presence caused a lot of drama. He brought in the alcohol abuse, and he also brought in the drug abuse, and he caused Cam to spiral down while he was already feeling crazy about the fact that he's about to have his baby soon. Now, shit got crazy. Shit got real. Shit got real. And we're back, and my phone died, and so I just wanted to wrap this up. I wanted to finish up episode 7. Damn, I'm already too late. So anyways, Cam has now sent a whole mass text to everybody that he is having his last hurrah at the local bar. The Hammer is being a horrible influence. Cam feels like his life is over very soon. And it's like, he is well into his 30s. We should have given him, like, I don't know, not to be so, like, distraught. I mean, it is very hard having kids. I have 2. I had my first one at 19 and my second one at 23. And now I am 34. I have a 15-year-old and 11-year-old. And when I tell you, it is to actually sit down and decide, you know what, let's have a baby. Like, I can imagine that. I can't imagine. Like, knowing what I know now, it's hard. It's hard for somebody to make that choice. Like, when you're way past that naive stage, you know how shitty people can be. You know how shitty the world is. And you're bringing a person into it. I was never like a really partier. Well, clearly I told you I was 19. I missed a lot of partying. I had a little partying here and there, but definitely missed out on the like crazy drunk parties, traveling. Like, yeah, I didn't have much of that. So more so now I'm trying to get that shit out right now. But right now is when people are starting to have their babies, and now I'm out here like I'm trying to go on a vacation. I digress. Cam feels like this is his last hurrah. He feels like his life is over. Rob sees Mac and she immediately wants to leave. She grabs a cigarette from a guy outside, and guess who comes out? Lily. Now, Lily pissed me off because it's like, Lily, yeah, she trying to be nice. Me, the type of person I am, even if somebody is seemingly nice, I still can like see some shit behind it. Like, so basically Lily says, oh, don't leave on our account, like these are your people, like if you feel uncomfortable with us being here, like we'll leave. That should have been a conversation for Mac to have. But you think because you so sweet and blibbity blah that Mac's ex-girlfriend wants to have any type of conversation with you. Why? She introduced herself to Rob. Rob has these fantasies of beating Lily's ass. Her beating Lily's ass, the two guys she's with beating Lily's ass, the two guys that she's with holding her back from beating Lily's ass while she runs down the street terrified. She goes through these scenarios of how she's going to handle when Lily introduces herself, and in actuality all she does is say, hey, yeah, cool, like, hey, nice to meet you. Yeah, bitch. And I feel her. Like, yeah, it's unreasonable. Yeah, she's being nice, but so what? Bitch. Why are you talking to me? You don't know the history. You don't know what your presence is doing to me inside that I'm trying to suppress. She is trying to get back up, okay? She's trying to get back up because she's feeling uncomfortable. Oh, also, this is my favorite band in the world, Young the Giant. It's all about bands, it's all about music, and this is my favorite band. I got this when I saw them the first time at College Street in New Haven. I saw them a second time in Providence, Rhode Island, and yes, this is my favorite band. My favorite song from them actually was on their latest album. Every time I get a new song that I love of theirs, but my favorite all-time song of theirs is Mind Over Matter. My favorite song on their new album is Heat of the Summer. Yes. Okay. Clyde comes through because Rob calls him. They have this weird exchange about the fact that Clyde is teaching underprivileged kids at his climbing gym because he gets nervous around kids. And then he tries too hard. And my thing is, why is he having so many kid interactions? Is he a teacher? Is there something that we missed? Why does he need to have a close relationship with kids? Whatever. It just seems a little weird. But they have drinks. Everybody's laughing, talking. Lily in the bathroom talking about, let's double date. Like, Lily, stop. And I wish Rob had said, no. But Rob is just like going with the flow. She's like trying to play it cool. She's trying to play it too cool. And fuck that. She shouldn't have had to play it that cool. Cam in his big drunk mouth end up telling Clyde that Mac is Rob's ex-fiance, and Clyde seems anxious and angry about it. One, it's not like she's there with another dude. She picked you. Two, they go to the club all the time. Alright, so I'm about to finish this up because my phone keeps stopping. So I'm finishing up episode 7. I will make a separate video for episodes 8 and 9, which will be much shorter, and it'll be my whole feelings about the entire series. Okay, now number 1, Rob doesn't have another guy that she's messing with besides Liam, and he knows nothing about Liam. So you have been invited to a family gathering with all her closest friends. Shut the fuck up, okay? 2, they go to the club all the time. She gives you platonic ass daps conversation. She's made it clear to you that you are not together, okay? You've accepted it as well. 3, you stay not making no moves. So who you mad at? Her or yourself? Clyde stay not making no moves. So whatever. And doesn't he feel bad about the fact that she has to be there with her ex-fiance and his new fiance while she's gotta bring you there? Like, doesn't he feel bad for her in some way? Cam and Hammer are Arm and Hammer. Hammer. Do you remember that Jamie Foxx episode where he was doing the jingles? Anyways, so Cam and Hammer go into the bathroom to do some coke. Now, I have been to a party where people like dipped off in the bathroom to do some coke, and that's not for me, okay? Now, I feel like they were so raggedy and messy with this coke situation. It was just so like, yeah, they had it on their nose, but they were drunk as hell. It was just so like, are y'all for real? Like, y'all coming out like Tony Montana? Like, okay. Cam drunkenly tells Rob that she is the one to blame for all her relationship issues. Like, the catalyst is you. You are the common denominator. You ain't shit. You toxic. You are the rotten fruit in the bunch. Like, all of that. So she feels kind of shitty. And then she ends up going to try to find Clyde. Clyde is outside having a moment, reflecting on his lack of initiative and responsibility for the failure of this little fake ass relationship. So she ends up, Rob tells Clyde who Mac is. Clyde said he knows. They talk about him being her fake boyfriend, and then they're playing around because, you know, they're both drunk as hell. But Clyde seems to be too sober for the amount of liquor that they were all drinking, you know? I feel like, well, maybe Clyde sobered up when he found out who Mac was. But even so, like, my boy, you wasn't the one. You wasn't ever gonna be the one. Cause you act like a little wimp. And I mean, not even like, another guy would have said something. You haven't like asked her out. You keep throwing these like, hey, when you finish the Sopranos, we should go get a dinner. And I've had that too. Like, you're casual as fuck. I have no interest in you sexually. I can talk to you as a friend, but that's not what you want. But you're also mad because that's not what you're getting. But she's made it clear that, okay? Clyde basically says that he doesn't want this chaos in his life. That he's worked so hard to keep this chaos out of his life. What chaos, Clyde? What chaos, Clyde? Because all you was talking about was you going to visit 30 Rock and talking about how she been to these little sightseeing spots that people from New York don't really care about. So, Clyde, what are you doing to make this relationship work? She been messy. And then he talking about, oh, you're messy as whatever. And I was just like, oh, Clyde, I don't like you. And you know what's crazy? And I'm going to admit to y'all, I watched this shit twice. I watched this entire series twice. I watched it all through for my enjoyment, and I watched it all through to take notes. And when I tell you I enjoyed every fucking minute, I enjoyed every minute. And the second time around, I did not like Clyde. She gave him this deep, passionate kiss, yet throughout the whole series, like clearly right here, we're on chapter, we're on episode 7. We're on episode 7, and she has not been giving you any type of play since the first night, okay? But here we are, and you're calling her messy. You're like, she didn't say that you were her boyfriend. She never told anybody that. So you're the one that assumed that you want to be the fake boyfriend. You want to guilt her into being with you. I mean, he did say, oh, I would be here for it, like, but that's after you called her messy. So after he called her messy and then said, like, I would do this, and I'm like, no, I wouldn't. I don't give a fuck how nice you are, how many rides you want to give me. You deep down think I'm messy. You deep down think I'm fucked up. And what do you want to do? Save me? What do you want to do? Make me better? Fuck you, Clyde. Yes, I'm I'm working on myself. The episode ends with Cam causing a ruckus. Cam is drunk as hell and starts messing with the dude that ordered a slow gin fizz earlier because they were like, what? Slow gin fizz. So Cam starts mess with him. Cam ends up knocking his own self in the head trying to start with slow gin. And Clyde comes in and bops up the dude because he's got this pent up frustration from having to jack off all the times that Rob leaves him hanging. You know what I mean? So Clyde ends up leaving. The party is done. It looks like the whole crew is messy, to be honest with you. Nikki, Cam's wife, has to come pick him up. Cam is saying, like, he doesn't want to lose himself. He doesn't want to lose the guy he used to be. Nikki is saying the same thing. She don't want to lose the guy she used to be either. She says, we're just going to have to grow up a little tiny bit. Just a little tiny bit. And I'm like, y'all bugging. Y'all gonna have to grow up a whole lot. A kid changes your entire life. Now, I'm gonna say the best part of the fact that a kid changes your entire life is most human beings, when you have your kid, it's a love that you've never experienced. Like, how can you love something this much? And you're like, oh, I could have never imagined that I would like give my life for a person, and I would give my life for these people. Like, I would take one too. I'd take one for these people too. That is the end of episode 7. So I have got really far along. So I am going to edit this shit up, and I'm going to get this out, and I hope you guys enjoy it. I'm loving this. So I'll be back with episode 8, 9, and 10. I don't know if I'll finish that later tonight or tomorrow, but I'm going to be finishing that, editing it, and getting it on out. So I hope you're enjoying it, and you should be watching it. Watch High Fidelity, the movie, too. See you later.